Pete DeBoer said earlier today that it is a very realistic possibility that Miro Heiskanen will not be available for the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. If you're a Stars fan, what's going through your head when you hear that?
It's bad. It's I know you and I discussed this a little bit earlier on today before the show, but yeah, it's a huge blow. I think that Miro is a tough guy to replace for that team. Um, However, I mean they've been playing with him for however long now that he's already been injured, and they've looked okay. So I know playoffs are kind of a different animal. I do think that that's the kind of loss that you can almost certainly chalk up like at least like a loss to like an extra loss in the first round, chalked up to the fact that that player's not in the lineup. Like that's how much I do think it matters.
I think I would say if you're just talking the West Coast, I totally agree. You can chalk up him not being in the lineup to one or more losses. But I really think that of the teams in the West Coast, the three most important players that you could pull instantly from a lineup would be McKinnon, McDavid, and then Heiskanen. Because there's no one else that eats the amount of minutes he does for that team. He is the most valuable player to that Dallas Stars franchise, in my opinion. It's not even close. I mean, that's their A1 number one defenseman who, up until he got hurt in January, was lugging like 25, 26 minutes a night. And, when you go into the Stanley Cup playoffs and you need your top pair out there, especially if that game goes to overtime, I just think that's such a huge loss for them. So, I mean, hopefully they don't get screwed and end up with a crazy matchup like we saw them with last year, but who
Yeah.
knows?
I mean, I just think that 6D is significantly weaker without Mira. I mean, you got daily faceoff has his Thomas Harley, Ilya Labushkin, Essa Lindell, Cody Cece, who is currently day to day, but probably fine. And Leanne Bichelle, I don't even know who that is, and Matt Dumba. So,
Yeah.
it's a group of serviceable defensemen.
Yeah.
I think it's missing an X factor defender, and I certainly think their power play is missing a proper defensive quarterback without Miro. I will say though, I've been really impressed with Thomas Harley,
Yeah.
the way that he's stepped up during Miro's absence and the way he played in the Four Nations as well.
Yeah, he looked great in the Four Nations, and that has to just be such a confidence boost, especially for a young defenseman. I mean, doing that on the international stage for his country. So I'm sure that just, is a huge portion of why he's playing so well as of late.